Wait, click. Hello, Claire.
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Did you talk to her?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that.
Did you talk to the girl?
I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
You seem like the type of person that would be upset about someone holding a fish. That was David.
Sorry. I don't know.
The sad thing is, that's quite apt.
I don't know anything about that.
Whatever. Do you know Bryce?
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult. Unless you pay the right people.
So you paid Bryce.
What?
Is that what you're saying? Okay, let's look at our notes. We wrote some notes on that.
What?
Like I said, it's the old lady in Night in the Woods. It's just...
Hey, Bryce.
Guess you'll never guess what Claire says about you.
Claire said you smuggled bodies?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Alright. Should tell Claire, we're just going back and forth.
Oof.
So Claire said, so Bryce said, and we're just playing Drama Kings right now. Drama Queens, like
Drama royalty.
drama royalty.
Bryce says... Bryce says... David's in the ground.
Well, that's what he would say, isn't it?
Alright. So...
Well, we got Bryce done.
The girl made you uneasy.
I don't know, Doctor. I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
What?
Okay. Let's ask about the
Paper
thing.
spike.
The paper spike.
Tell me about the paper spike.
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
I feel like we know, but I don't remember. That might be a thing that we have, but...
I'm sure we do know.
That's not relevant here. That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
You know he's alive, and he's at the lake house, and you paid Bryce
To take him there. And he probably took him there in the midnight hour. It's all coming together. They're all in cahoots. Every one of them. So, how about... what did you just say there?
Everyone says he's dead. She knows he's not.
Oops.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Explain what?
He's buried at Hanley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
We know. Well. Okay, this lady is
That's what it
crazy.
says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a few...
Just gonna be shouting at her now.
I need...
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So, I fixed him.
What?
You fixed him.
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible. But only if you're not buried.
I'm not surprised.
He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
So Dr. Dekker told you. Yeah, Dekker seems to be telling a lot of people a lot of things that just...
Try asking me something I might know.
Is that how you spell resurrection?
I want to say no, but I don't remember.
Because I'm thinking like res erection. Like to erect it from the grave.
Yeah, I feel like it's the... Yeah, it's the 1 S, 2 R's. So like what you were doing before, but...
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead.
The result...
I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem. I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
Before we go to that, just for the sake of, like,
He's buried at Henley Church.
dealing with
You
stuff.
can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask
her
him.
about pallbearer.
Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a grave digger, I believe.
Yes, he is. You are
Okay,
correct.
okay.
We got that there.
Think, Doctor, think. Use your brain. Or your notes if you have to.
That was very condescending, and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. I think if we were her actual therapists and not, you know, Let's Players on YouTube, we would kick her out.
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder. To lessen my
I don't think it was temporary.
Because I'm not a killer. But I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
You know what? Fuck it. We gotta stop agreeing with people at some point.
I'm getting tired of all these questions. I'm getting tired of everything.
That was very dark.
Yeah, because she, even if she did reanimate him, if that's like, oh, even if that is a real thing that she did, she still killed him.
Right.
She,
Like, you can't kill someone, bring them back to life, and say you didn't kill them because you brought them back to life. Like, it doesn't negate itself out like that.
right.
If the world worked like that, like, murder charges would be so weird. Just like, no, it's fine, I brought him back, like, 2 days later.
Like, it's legal to kill people as long as you bring them back to life later.
And it's just like, it's like, you killed that guy like 3 months ago. It's like, no, I'll still bring him back. Don't worry about it. It'll happen eventually. Do you know how complicated it is to raise the dead? Like, come on.
I don't know if killer is the right term, but I mean...
I don't know what you're after, but I don't know anything about that. Sorry.
Try just like yes or no. 'Cause that's what a lot of these seem to want. Is like yes, I think, or no, or.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
I think this is like such a cop-out though.
What?
Like, temporarily insane. Like, I don't think, regardless of like lots of misconceptions and things like that about mental illnesses, I don't think that you can temporarily go insane. It's like, I feel like a buildup of things will cause you to snap and cause you to like break at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
But temporary insanity is not anything what she's done. She killed him and raised and supposedly raised him from the dead.
And I also think we need to take into consideration that she's been seeing Dekker, who has been, like, who we've already, like, figured out has been, like, making his patients worse.
Right.
And, like, so I feel like part of it is definitely going to be her involvement with Dekker and, like, his influence on her psyche.
Right.
I don't know, Doctor. I'm afraid I don't know the... I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did.
Something else?
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
The girl?
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house. Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis.
Wow, we still got 2 asterisks on the other thing.
Who was Iris?
Iris was the girl that David was sleeping with.
Okay.
That David was having an affair with.
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
So, that would be who Bryce set
Saved.
free.
Yeah. But here's the issue, though. Now this kind of proves that Bryce does have that ability because it's popping up in someone else's story. If that girl really was Iris and Dekker called because Iris went missing from her basement, the basement that Bryce said he went into and found a girl.
Well, it proves that his story about the girl is real. I don't know if it proves that he has the extra hour.
Right.
Because he also said he has, like, a file with those pictures on it.
Yeah, but...
Which, like, he could have taken at any time. That could have just happened in the middle of the night when he, like...
Technically speaking, true. But it's... See, this is where, like, this paranormal stuff is starting to sort of tweak me out a bit. Because, like... He said that he took those pictures of people in the extra hour. Which, if he took the pictures, he has the physical proof. Mm-hmm. And could have put them on a hard drive or a computer at any time. But to... The only exception to this being, like... Wait. I wonder... He said he was off on Tuesdays. I'm wondering if, like... The way that I see it, especially with what the fuck they're saying Dr. Dekker did, what I see is, like, the basement being more guarded and, like, harder for someone to sort of just wander into a house and get into. If you're, like, chaining someone up in a basement. But, like, and the way that Bryce described it, in that extra hour where people are basically just paused, he caught Dekker leaving the basement and basically slipped inside, grabbed her, and brought her out. Brought her out, dressed her, and brought her to the police station. The only issue with that is we can't test that with Iris just because Iris isn't one of our patients and she doesn't like Iris, who's the only person who would know her.
Right.
But, like, outside of just going in on his off day and finding a way to break into what I assume is a very secure basement, at a time where Dekker...
that is just an assumption.
Right.
We have, like, a lot of things that we don't know. So...
True.
The girl.
Changed his mind.
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Kind of would, yeah. That would do a lot for your case here.
Very well. In our next session.
All right.
Huh.